I qualified for the 2023 World Championships as a Day 2 competitor and in 10th place in North America, earning an automatic bye to Day 2 of the Yokohama World Championships and a full paid trip from the Pokemon TCG company. So how did I do that? Well, today we're going to go through my season recap of the 2023 season. I have been documenting every single big tournament I have played throughout the year that has earned me championship points or could earn me championship points, so you guys should check that out. There's a whole playlist of it. And good tournament reports, reflective nature, whatever, yada yada. And all that being said, I wanted to kind of break down the big tournaments I played this season for you guys. The decks I played, we could talk about them a little bit, and my Limitless page at the end. So stay tuned. Hope you guys enjoy this, and it's the season recap of my 2023 season. So I played very competitively this year because Yokohama, Japan means a lot to me, and I really wanted to prove my mettle and get that Day 2 spot once again. But the big thing on my mind was not Day 2ing for Worlds, but getting a regional medal and an IC medal, or trophy, sorry. That's what I wanted more than anything. And I think I did both of those things this year. Spoiler alert, unless you guys have been following along from the channel for quite a while, you guys know that this season has been one of my best by far. So we kicked off the season in Baltimore, and in Baltimore I went ahead and played Palkia. I played Palkia Inteleon, the deck that was supposed to be the touted best deck at the World Championships, where I went ahead and played a 1/1 Ice Rider as like the new technology to kind of deal with the Pikachu, the flying Pikachu decks, and kind of try to beat those decks in a constructive manner. I ended up finding myself in a top 64 slot after back-to-back losses, starting Day 2 off really well, 3-0 after coming in 6-2-1, and then going 0-1 in my last 2 rounds to find myself in a top 64 berth, which we can start logging here. Top 64 is 50 CP. We can replace them as we go to show off. Then I went to Salt Lake City, where I finished a middling 5-3-1, which I believe was top 256 at this one. So I ended up getting 30 CP. I played Lost Tina. This is a tournament that I didn't really prepare for too much. It was my first dance with the Lost Box archetype. This is right when Reggie's was starting to be popular, when Lost Box Tina was really good, when some people were playing Sable Zard, but like Path decks were getting very good around here. So I just said, I'm going to just play what John plays. John popped off of the last one. I'm going to play Tina. I played Tina. Salt Lake City then led me into Latin America Internationals. Was there anything in between that? No, there actually wasn't for me. I actually had a whole month break. I only played 3 tournaments in the first half of the year, which is kind of crazy, or like the first couple months of the year, which is kind of crazy, because usually I play a lot more. I might be the same this year, honestly, guys, because I have a lot of family stuff coming up and personal things coming up after the season ends, so you might not see me hit the ground running for a little bit. You'll see me at Pittsburgh, because that is a drive. And here I played Lugia V-Star. So the big thing about internationals out of the 4 is that there was no best finish limit for any season up till, whatever. Like I don't even know what this upcoming season is going to be. I'll give you guys a full breakdown when that comes up. And you guys can also, we can talk about how to roadmap your road to Worlds in the most efficient manner, in the least amount of money, least amount of time possible. And so internationals have no BFL. They have a BFL 4, but that means a best finish limit of 4, which also just basically means if you go to all 4, you can earn points at all 4 internationals. This is the first iteration of the Lugia Archeops Lug Chops. We ended up playing it here, and I finished 5-3-1, being eliminated here in round 7 by Mateus from Day 2 contention, but this still meant that I picked up 80 championship points, which is invaluable because this just means that these points can't be replaced ever. These 80 are always going to be here, so going to an international can be insane amounts of value if you're just someone who wants to get your invite out of the way for the most bang for your buck. And also you can explore and see a whole new area and just see something new and enjoy a new location. So after Brazil, we headed to Toronto, where I played Lugia once again, but this time we played a 1-1 Espeon VMAX, so this is like a 1-week turnaround, not too much time in the back-to-back, and I finished in top 16, losing a win and into top 8 to Jake Gearhart, which, not too disheartening. Jake is an amazing player, but this put another 80 into my repertoire. That then took us to Arlington, Texas, where I played Regigigas. This is the first time that I decided it's time to play Reginald Gigas. It's that time where I think this deck is good. I have a lot to learn still, but I want to play this deck. I believe this took me to a top 16 finish. I gotta just double check real quick here. Yes, it did. This was a top 16 finish from me for Reggie Gigas. Another really, really good finish in a back-to-back weekend regionals. Top 16 basically means I was so close to top 8, but something didn't go right. And for me, coming into day 2, I got 2 losses, which really sucked. So I finished 10-4, I believe, or 11. Wait, no, I had a tie here with versus Billy, so I went 10-4-1. There we go. Yeah, and then San Diego, we played Reggie's again. We brought it back. The whole gang played it. My deck names are pretty funny here. I don't know why I name my decks the way I do. But this one was I was not in top 8 contention for a while, but I put myself in a position to still finish in the top 32, earning myself another 60 championship points. So at this point of the season, we're about to hit New Year's, and now I'm at 240, 300, 380. So I'm now 380 out of my 500 at this point, because the structure has not changed yet. So, and unbeknownst to me, it does change, but I'm at 380, and so I'm feeling pretty comfortable about my Worlds invite. I have one more regionals finish that I can get, but you can see how it would get kind of tight. Now I'm thinking, man, I need to get a reasonable finish. Even 30 points here means internationals are going to be very, very hard for me to get points at. Obviously, I think I'm going to replace the 30, but I can get a minimum of 30 points from our regionals. And then we head to Liverpool. This is my birthday weekend, so I just really wanted to go and see some friends and just, celebrate my birthday doing what I love, which is Pokemon. And I played Reggie's again, and this one I finished, I believe, top 16. Let me double check again. Yep, I finished 16th, and I got another 80 points. So the last couple regional stretches been really good to me. You guys can notice at this point in the season, I still have not missed championship points. Consistency is key. I think if you play correctly and play really well, unless you have a really unlucky day, going 5-3-1 is super attainable. If your deck is good, you know what you're doing. Then this takes us to Orlando, where I ended up playing Lugia once again. And this time I played the Lugia list, and 3 of our group top 8'd this. I did not. I regrettably finished top. I went 6-3, so I don't know how I finished actually. Orlando was 174th, so I actually didn't get any. Like 256 is 30 points, so I actually didn't get any points. So this is where 30 points just go into the void. Like 30 points have just gone directly into the void. They're sayonara, adios. They're not coming back. Then we went to Oceania, which was an international championship. I played Reggie's once again. Oh God, my naming sense is impeccable. And I top 4'd this event. I top 4'd the international, which earned me 320 championship points. Now, what does that do? It gave me my Worlds invite. It puts me in contention to shoot for day 2, and now I can continue to earn championship points if I'd like. So I had an absolutely amazing run. You can see that I stuck with one deck for the last couple tournaments. I switched to Lugia for one because I felt like maybe this wasn't the right tournament to play Reggie's. Maybe this is one where I take it off because it's getting a little bit more high profile and people can tech for it. And I think that was the right call to switch for Lugia for this tournament. But Reggie's came back. It became back in my repertoire, and you got to stick with one deck. If there's a deck you're good at, don't switch off it. That's my main point here. Then we went to Knoxville, where I just ran back the Reggie's deck once again. And finished top 4 at the regionals once again. Now this becomes a new BFL. I got a top 4, which means this 30 gets replaced, and now this 30 goes into the void. I've now overqualified for Worlds, and I'm gunning for my day 2 birth invite. Now, I then headed to Vancouver, where I played it again, where I played Reggie's again. And this time I went to a disappointing 4-4 drop. Earning 4 losses pretty early on. I wasn't playing super well. My head wasn't in it. And you have to acknowledge that. As a player, sometimes you're not going to have the best of days. You're not going to have the best of plays. You're not going to have things go your way sometimes. And even if there's a deck that you know like the back of your hand, sometimes you're not going to be fully present. And I wasn't. And I ended up going 4-4, and I dropped from the tournament. Understandably, regrettably, but my tournament run ended here early. One of the few tournaments that I did not end up finding myself placing for points at all. Then we headed off to Charlotte, where I ended up playing Control, the great Control experiment, as I like to call it. I really wanted to play something fun because Charlotte was like a road trip for me, and I kind of had been playing the same deck all season, and I wanted to kind of spice it up and try something new. Yes, I know winning a regionals is like the ultimate prerogative, but I just wanted to kind of let loose. Like Vancouver and Charlotte at this point in the season, I was kind of burnt out, and a little bit of what I had been going through, traveling, just kind of felt like I wanted to take like a tournament to goof off and play like what I wanted to play. And control had been an archetype that I wanted to touch on for quite a bit, and it felt like no one was respecting it. That being said, a single Drapion in most people's decks just beat the deck, so I kind of looked over that oversight, and I found myself starting 0-2-1, then winning 4 in a row, and then getting knocked out ultimately in round 8 from day 2 contention. I could have won the last one potentially for points here, but at this point the points would have just gone into the void, and I was just ready to go to bed because I didn't like the deck. I hate control. It was not a fun time. And then I pivoted. Rotation happened. We headed to the European International Championships, where I played Gardevoir. Came into day 2 at 6-2-1, and then had the most disappointing day 2 run I've ever had, finishing top 256, which doesn't really do anything, but gets me 80 more CP. That doesn't go anywhere. That's why ICs are so insane. If you guys are chasing an invite, chasing day 2, whatever, internationals are absolutely key. Obviously, we don't know this year's structure, but yeah. Then we went to Portland, where I played Inteleon VMAX. It did win NAIC, but it was kind of a meme for a little bit. I played a little bit of a weird list where Victor and I kind of brewed a little bit too hard. Started 3-0, got to 3-3, and then I dropped from the tournament because I just decided that it was too much for me. I just wanted day 2 with this deck, and points are also going to go to the void anyway, so why am I playing? The tournament was also running absurdly slow, and it was one of the worst tournaments I'd played, so I just mentally was checked out at a certain point, and I just dropped from the tournament. But no harm, no foul. It was a fun deck once again. Another like give in to your inhibitions type of deck. And I dropped. So now we've dropped from 3 tournaments this year after having such a strong start to the year. What happened? What changed? Well, I stopped playing decks that are considered good and kind of playing more funny decks. And sometimes funny decks just can't beat good decks. It's hard. And then I ended up heading to Hartford, where I played Lost Box Zard, and I played. I went to a disappointing 5-3-1 finish after starting 5-1. Just needing to convert here, and I could not convert. Unfortunately, losing 2 win-ins. All 3 opponents I lost to ended up going very deep into the tournament, and I think I finished in Hartford. It doesn't have my placing here, which is strange, but I believe I got top 256 points, so I'm just going to assume that and then put myself at 90 into the void. And then Milwaukee. So you can see there's a little bit of a break here from Hartford to Milwaukee. This is where I started skipping a couple tournaments. I skipped Peoria, Fort Wayne, and eventually wherever the NorCal one was, Fresno. Yeah, Fresno. So I ended up skipping a couple regionals. You don't have to go to everything, guys. You don't have to. It's like a money sink. It's a time sink. And I ended up finishing top 64 here, playing Arc Dura Umbreon, a deck that I thought was really, really good. Turns out it's really, really boring at a certain point. So again, I can't get any points here, so another 50 points go to the void. And then, because I skipped Fresno, I then ended up in the North American International Championships to cap off my season, picking up 130 points with Gardevoir for a top 64 finish. Starting off pretty rough on the day, but then I kind of brought it back to pick up a lot of ICCP. So this is kind of how the season went for me. It was my roadmap. So there was 140 points that went to the void, which was a culmination of 4 regionals that just disappeared, and then I dropped 3 regionals. So effectively, 7 of my I don't know why I'm saving this. 7 of my regionals disappeared into the void. So you don't have to go to everything. At a certain point, you have to know, like, it's time to take a break. It's time to chill out and relax. And like, you can see how my results from the beginning of the season changed dramatically to the end of the season. It's because my heart wasn't there a lot of the time, and I don't want to push myself to that degree ever again. That being said, NAIC was a good... NAIC and Milwaukee in back-to-back tournaments were good examples of why I can still do it. My heart is still there, and you got to bring that fire back in you, that fighting spirit that I want to win. So that being said, my Limitless page is something I'm very, very proud of. And this season, I put a couple of fun decks onto my page. There's one more Guardy that should be here for NAIC, but we got a Palkia, we got a Lug. I'm probably the least successful Lugia player in our group, which is kind of sad because I think the deck is like absolutely broken. A bunch of Reggies here, you know, the Reggie gang. You know, we do this for quite a bit. You guys know me, you love me for the Reggie player. Guardy here for twice, 2 ICs in a row. I played Guardy. I think the deck was insane. Arcadura Umbreon, and then you can see some of my previous season results as well. how I kind of stick with one deck, Pikarom, Buzzrock, a little bit Vespiquen, obviously, my bread and butter, Mewtwo for a little bit of the season. So that being said, thank you guys for watching my season recap. The 2024 season is already underway. Hope you guys are shooting for the World Championships. Let me know in the comments down below. We have a Discord server if you want to join and share your stories and get help and advice from other people in our Discord server. The link is in the description. I hope you guys are joining and being a part of our community. I'll keep you guys updated on my 24 season, and as soon as the details and the schedule is up, we'll talk about it here, and you guys will be up to speed. So thank you for watching, and peace out.